this is what the Voyager 2 spacecraft tweeted from outer space. Due to government shutdown, we will not be posting or responding from this account. Farewell, humans. Sort it out yourselves. And so worried is the Obama administration about sorting this out that it decided to control the message. The order has come down from on high that no U.S. ambassador can explain or speak publicly about this to a quizzical world. And so it's up to us, and we'll try our best.
There's a huge, hidden, heavenly body right here in our solar system. Evidence is mounting that either a brown dwarf star or a gas giant planet is lurking at the outermost reaches of our solar system, far beyond the planet Pluto. According to the British newspaper The Independent, the object is 4 times the size of Jupiter. Experts say the presence of such a massive object could explain why a barrage of comets has been coming from that direction.
The news, of course, for quite a while, a number of months, there have been Comet I. There's been a lot of disinformation put out there, speculation fueled by NASA. Give us an update on Comet I, if you would, please, sir.
And by the way, this is the update. I'll be doing a complete review tomorrow night on my show. But here's what's going on. Comet I approached and has now passed Mars. Mars went comet.
What?
And I observed it. I had other people observe it. And it might be one of the reasons that the government shut down. Because the coma around Mars is now extremely visible. This is an event we had not seen in thousands of years. I am amazed at this, and elements that luminesce in green are carbon monoxide and arsenic and some of the other elements that are common in comet tails. But of course, NASA had their little, it's ultraviolet light from the sun. Well, what's so special about ultraviolet light near Mars? Why don't comets do this in other places?
Exactly.
All the time. You know, their explanations are so stupid that they're first level thinking at worst. But at any rate, 2 days ago on the 30th, Comet I developed the sunward spike that I predicted. I said, yeah, it's going to start connecting, but it did. It was a visible, extremely visible sunward spike within the days of passing Mars. Right now, Mars is in the tail of Comet I, and Mars itself has gone comet. I almost think, this is so important to hide this information from the public. It's so important to the so-called world leaders that I even have considered that the entire shutdown of the federal government is to hide the information regarding Comet I.
Well, that's
in the fact that the timing is very strange. October 1st was the first day that Comet I really started to interact with Mars. And like I say, this is an event we have not seen in 3,500 years or more as Earthlings. And the fact that a comet would interact with a planet, and then right now the planet itself is going comet. I've received emails from other people who have observed this too. My personal, I've been up myself many nights looking at this. And my viewing conditions this morning were absolutely beyond crystal clear. And I watched this going on for, way more than an hour with extremely good equipment. What's interesting is all of the NASA equipment is offline, and that data is being taken. NASA is quiet as a church mouse. All of their websites are offline. And I suspect that the majority of scientists are being barred from seeing this. They're out on the street, and like many people, when they're off the job, so to speak, when the government ain't paying them, they're not there. They cannot go into their facilities. They cannot do their job. They can't go. They can't be a scientist and say, "Oh, I'm so interested in my science that even if you don't pay me, I'll go do it." No, their door is shut. They cannot
They're locked out. They're locked out.
Yeah, absolutely. So the scientists themselves cannot see the data that is coming in. And of course, the military is around, the tier 1 level military, and the scientists that work with the military get to see the data. But that'll never get to you and me. So right now, I'm the only source reporting actual live data from Comet I. So what a strange situation. This event is astronomically, in terms of astronomical history, is an event that is, like I say, extremely important, because we have not witnessed a comet come this close to a planet in that long, and certainly in modern history. So to see Mars interact with the comet, first the comet starting to interact, turns green, develops the sunward spike, then connects with Mars. Now, I want to tell you what the data that NASA is hiding and the military, what it is showing. It is showing auroras on Mars. It's showing the interaction of the electrical discharges between the comet and Mars. It's showing all of a sudden the comet brightening tremendously, which it is right now. It has grown tremendously over the last day. And then Mars developing a comet coma, literally about the size of a quarter the size of the full moon in the sky, and it's very visible. So this is an astronomical event of historical proportions, and NASA is shut down.
Now, Jim, NASA's automated systems are recording and storing all this information. Do you have any opinion one way or the other if NASA will release the stored information on what's going on once the government gets open again for business?
No, absolutely not. What will happen to these scientists, in fact, what's going to happen to the federal government is going to be very interesting if they ever come.
Astronomers saw the asteroids and comets that come close to Earth as useless debris, space rocks that blocked our view of distant galaxies. Not anymore. They're now viewed as scientifically important and potentially very dangerous if they were to collide with our planet. The odds of that happening on any given day are remote, but over millions of years, scientists believe there have been lots of impacts, and few doubt there are more to come. A former astronaut told us it's like a game of cosmic roulette, and one mankind cannot afford to lose. Concern over our ability to detect these objects that come near the Earth grew after an incident in Russia this February, when an asteroid crashed into the atmosphere with many times the energy of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima, narrowly missing a city of 1 million. Paul Chodas is a scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. He and his boss, Don Yeomans, have been trying to track near-Earth objects for decades.
We didn't see it coming. It was coming from the general direction of the sun, so it was in the daytime sky as it approached.
So how did you find out about it?
Twitter and YouTube, when we first saw the images.
So the first people at NASA heard about it was Twitter?
Exactly.
We know about some of the most distant galaxies in the known universe, and yet we don't really know everything that's right in our own backyard.
Wow. Amy Mainzer is a NASA scientist who focuses on detecting asteroids.
So we got to move the dome out of the way, and then we're going to start to follow the asteroid as it tracks across the sky.
This telescope at the Table Mountain Observatory in California is one of dozens all over the world that are used to track and study near-Earth objects. Mainzer told us they're often very hard to find.
Some of these asteroids are really, really dark, darker even than coal in some cases, kind of like the soot at the bottom of a barbecue grill.
So you're looking for something that's darker than coal against a black sky?
Exactly. And now you see the problem.
They come in all shapes and sizes. Some look like small planets, others giant dog bones. For a long time, nobody thought they were worth tracking at all.
It wasn't thought that they really did hit the Earth. Astronomers debated for a long time about the nature of the craters on the moon.
They thought the craters on the moon were volcanic.
Possibly, yeah. And it's only been fairly recently, within the last 50 years or so, that the field has really recognized that, yeah, impacts actually do happen. And not only do they happen on geological timescales, millions and billions of years, but on human timescales in some cases.
The last major asteroid to collide with Earth hit in 1908 in the Tunguska region of Siberia. It's believed to have been 40 yards wide and to have exploded in the air like a nuclear bomb, leveling 80 million trees in an area the size of metropolitan Washington. The most famous impact of all is the one that may have wiped out the dinosaurs years ago. The theory is that an enormous asteroid or comet collided so violently with Earth it created a cloud of debris that blocked out the sun, killing off 75% of all species, leaving behind a crater in Mexico more than 100 miles wide. But as the scriptwriters of the Hollywood blockbuster Armageddon vividly imagined, asteroids have the potential to harm mankind as well. For better or worse, this is what many of us know about near-Earth objects. That if Bruce Willis hadn't nuked one, it would have destroyed the world. You see these movies with Bruce Willis where an asteroid is coming and is going to destroy the world. Is that likely?
We're still looking.
If you look at the light green dot, that's the orbit of the Earth.
Ed Liu is a former astronaut who spent 6 months on the International Space Station. He showed us a computer-generated representation of our solar system. That's the sun in the center, and those green dots are 10,000 near-Earth objects astronomers have found so far.
So these green dots are the asteroids that could hit the Earth.
This is about the 10,000 known asteroids.
Yes, these are the 10,000 known asteroids. Here's the problem. There's about a factor of 100 more. The real solar system looks like this. And we know this because we've only been able to observe a small fraction of the sky, and we know that there's about 100 times more asteroids than we've found.
This is all the asteroids that are...
There are about 1 million asteroids large enough to destroy a city out there.
And right now we only know of what percent of those asteroids?
About 1/2%.
Does it worry you that you only know 1% of these asteroids that are big enough to destroy a city?
Well, most of those are really small, and the odds are that many of these would hit in a remote area or could hit in an ocean. So that is why the larger ones are those that we were paying attention to first. Now, the next size range is the one to concentrate on, those that can cause, continent-wide extinction or destruction.
Yeah, that would be pretty good to prevent that continent-wide destruction.
Those are the next ones. We'll continue to find those, and we work our way down to the small ones.
But right now, an object that could wipe out the eastern seaboard or New York City could be a day away, and there's a very good chance we wouldn't know about it.
Well, we're working to make sure that we will know about it.
But right now, we wouldn't know about it.
It's possible. Yes.
The Committee on Science, Space, and Technology will come to order.
NASA Administrator Charles Bolden faced similar questions from Congress after the near miss in Russia earlier this year.
What would we do if you detected even a small one, like the one that detonated in Russia, headed for New York City in 3 weeks? What would we do? Like the one that detonated in Russia.
If it's coming in 3 weeks,
prey.
Is there anything you can do to deflect an asteroid that's going to hit besides evacuating a city?
If you find it 10 or 20 or 30 years in advance, then yes, you could actually send a spacecraft up, run into it, slow it down 1 millimeter or 2 per second so that in 10 or 20 years when it was predicted to hit the Earth, it wouldn't.
Just slam a spacecraft into it.
Just slam into it.
In 2005, NASA did just that as an experiment, firing a small unmanned spacecraft into a comet called Tempel 1. But you can't deflect what you don't detect, which is why former astronaut Ed Lu has taken on a new mission.
Here's the telescope that we're building.
He's now chairman of the B612 Foundation, which has designed a space-based telescope to speed up the discovery of near-Earth objects. NASA's Amy Mainzer has been developing one too. Both telescopes would be able to find asteroids by using infrared sensors that detect heat rather than light.
You have to think of this as cosmic roulette, right? The phrase that they have in Vegas is that the house always wins. And, you know, the sort of secret to all this is that we're not the house. At some point, you know, the solar system's going to get you.
They're very low probability events, but very high consequence events. It's a tough concept to get across because, as you say, it may happen tomorrow morning.
The following email was just sent to Before It's News by one of our readers and Before It's News friend, John DiNardo. We have decided to republish this email in its entirety. The email below consists of 7 clues that the elite and the government may now or may soon be going underground with the approach of Comet Ison. Right. Now, the U.S. NASA shutdown does not affect the Europeans, who have a very healthy Mars Express spacecraft in orbit around Mars. And so the larger question is, why have we seen no images from the approaching Ison comet? From ESA, European Space Agency. Let me know what you find out. Signed, VIP, name withheld. Clue number 2. Just as President Eisenhower waited until his farewell speech to evade the ruling elite's rifle crosshairs, and only then warned the people of the elite's creeping tyranny, so too the outgoing Director of Homeland Security issued this chilling, shocking warning in her farewell speech, reported by ABC News. A massive and serious cyber attack on the U.S. homeland is coming, and a natural disaster, the likes of which the nation has never seen, is also likely on its way. So prepare and bring a large bottle of Advil, Janet Napolitano told her yet-to-be-named replacement in a farewell addressed on Tuesday morning. Clue number 3. Astrophysicist James McCanney revealed that his contacts among military officers and professional astronomers have leaked to him that the following: a mini-solar system comet swirling around a gravitational baby star is moving into our solar system, and that you are on your own. Be prepared. This horde of incoming comets and asteroids now threatens the Earth. Clue number 4. NPR News. U.S. Space Fence radar system goes silent. Shut down after 50 years in operation. Only a fool would not realize that they are merely concealing the space radar from the eyes of public scientists, so as to preempt asteroid threat warnings that would panic the public. It is well known that they merely pretended that the Hubble telescope had failed, and that they lied about the infrared astronomical satellite having failed, just as they lied in stating that the radio transmissions from the Pioneer 10 space probe had failed. This space fence shutdown strongly implies that they expect major celestial bullets hurtling towards the Earth. But let's not prepare. We wouldn't want to disturb the economic house of cards. Clue number 5. U.S. federal government just happens to shut down now. I received an automated email from Dr. Michelle Tuttle of the U.S. Geological Survey, the USGS. You know, the nation's earthquake warning experts. And she wrote the following. Due to government shutdown, my job has been terminated. Terminated? I no longer have email access either. Thank you, shadow government. Now, not only you kept us blindfolded as to incoming asteroids, you have also ordered a blackout of vital earthquake reports. Now, at this critical juncture in Earth's ongoing trauma, when earthquake frequency and intensity is beginning to soar,
farewell, humans. Sort it out yourselves.